Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of JoJo no Kimyou no Bouken, Ougon no Kaze, or you can call it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind on episode 8. Now, this episode right here looked really slick. I mean, there's a little bit about Mista, and we get to see his battle with that guy, which I don't even bother remembering. So, if anything else, let's go. We have to, though, we get to know a little bit about Mista's backstory, etc. We have to that he seems to be living his life in a normal, happy way, such as hitting on women, seeing how they're doing, always put up with a smile, beat up thugs. He will also end up saving a woman who was brutally beaten in a car and then getting, or something. And we have to it that he takes on a couple thugs and somehow he ends up using some kind of ability of his that he might have been born with, and not a single shot was able to hit him. He ends up taking a gun from one of the thugs and ends up killing them all and saved the woman's life. Eventually, we get to see to it that Mista ends up taking on that orange-haired guy, which I don't really remember. And, of course, when Mista shot a couple bullets into him, especially into his brain and possibly somewhere else in his body, we have to that the guy is still alive, apparently. And we get to know a little bit of a stand user ability, where it will be able to deflect almost any kind of bullet coming right at him, while Giorno's trying to find a way to catch up to Mista. It's not working out so well for him. As for the guy's stand, he ends up actually somehow has the ability to have the driver and Mista to be stuck at a certain point on their body. Like, for example, like what happened in this episode, Mista cannot let go of the bar. Like, even if he lets go, he's like stuck there. So one of the stand abilities of his is like sticking someone like they're on super glue or something. And another thing too was another power of his was shown that he's able to somehow levitate certain objects such as rocks, tiny rocks, and use it to his leverage to walk over it or climb over it or use it as like a way for a shortcut, which was shown in the episode where after that guy got shot in the throat, he somehow managed to catch up to Mista by using his ability to levitate certain non-living objects and ends up taking a shortcut to reach where Mista is at with the driver. And eventually, Mista and the guy do battle it out, and we also get to know another ability of that guy's stand, the Mista's enemy stand whatsoever, that he has a bullet right in front of him. He just needs to do a couple clicks and it could go through a certain number of force or something. Like, it could launch like a regular gun depending how much pressure or taps he does, which is shown in this episode. And he ends up managing to get Mista on his abdomen area. Well, somewhere around like one side or the other. But aside from that, we see to it, of course, Mista does tell the guy that he only has one bullet left and makes him drop his guard when he launched the last shot, which he ends up shooting in his mouth. But of course the guy managed to catch it in his own mouth or in his body or something, and ends up managing to survive, but it actually was very painful for him. Aside from that, he ends up using the bullet that Mista used against him, but we have to it that because he dropped his guard, etc., the rest of Mista's little bullet stands whatsoever ends up having to climb on board of it, relaunch it back, split it in two, and launch half a bullet somehow after it got split and went into the guy's brain whatsoever. And he ends up fainting afterwards, and of course he's still alive, etc., while Mista tells the driver to drive him back to the location. What's more funny is that Giorno asked that same driver that dropped off Mista that came back to the same location to drive him on the top of the mountain, which is just really freaking hilarious because Mista just got dropped off recently after he defeated his enemy. So I just go like, okay, Giorno's gonna wonder where the hell is everybody, while the other group's gonna wonder where the hell is Giorno. Oh man, it's gonna get so complicated and confusing once they reunite, and hopefully it doesn't get too intense later. But aside from that, like I said, this is well, not like I said, but The episode was pretty simple, as Mister just takes on the enemy, defeats him, and we get to know a little bit about Mister's past. JoJo has asked the same driver that Mister was using to help him out a bit forcefully to go on top of the mountain, and the episode ends off there. I'm like, oh man, JoJo. Yeah, I wish you could have looked into details more carefully, man. But oh well, what's done is done. It's gonna get complicated. But aside from that, simple episode, and so until then, I will see you guys in my next video. I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Choo-choo-choo! And be safe on Black Friday, okay?